Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to another live. Make sure that you say hello to everyone, that you also put where you are joining me from in the chat box. Put it in the chat box. Today, we are going to be talking about how long does it take to get organized. So, this is something that I will get questions about from time to time, and I will kind of dive into just different areas, but today we're going to talk about 7 factors, 7 things that you really need to consider when you're thinking about your overall organization and how long this process is going to take. Thank you, Tanisha, for joining me. Thank you so much. Oh, I see Jamaica, Birmingham. Thank you both so much for joining me. But like I said, today we're going to be talking about how long does it take you to get organized? What is this process going to look like for you? And it's different for every single person based on different things that you may need to consider. So I'm going to put up my slides, and also remember, if you have any questions from today's live, make sure that you put them in the chat box. You just have to use hashtag Q, and then you can ask me any question. Just hashtag Q so that I can make sure I can see through the comments and make sure that I know what your question is. It will make it stand out if you do hashtag Q. So, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If this is your very first time, hi, my name is Elena, and today we are talking about how long it takes to get organized. And the reason why we're talking about this topic is because I get these questions all the time. I mean, I don't know if it's just the process of organization altogether. How long will it take me to get adjusted to my budget? How long will it take me to use my planner consistently and really find that planner piece, even though I've talked about in the past how I don't really believe in planner piece, but that's another topic for another day. But how long will it take for my system to start working for me? Like, how long will it take before I start to feel organized? So I start to feel like I kind of am starting to get my stuff together. So this is based on different things. And so that's why we're talking about this topic today. I thought it would be a great topic for us to dive into because I just believe that it is different for every single person, but there are some things that you need to consider when you're thinking about this topic of how long will it take before I start to be organized and feel organized. So, the answer to all of these questions, like I said, is it depends. It really depends on a bunch of different factors. And that's why I wanted to dive into this today and talk about those factors, talk about the different things that you need to consider when you are on your organization journey. So, if this is your very first time, hi, I'm Elena, and this is the Organized Money. I help people organize their life, their business, and their money. I mainly talk about paper planning and using a paper planning system, but I also will dive into some digital systems here and there, showing you how you can use all of these different things in order to organize your entire life. So, as we're talking about organization journey, which is my jam, I always love to talk about money organization, life organization, home organization, and business organization. So, we're talking about all of the different areas of your life and how you can keep it all together on a consistent basis. So, the ways that you can work with me, if you want to work with me more intimately after we jump off of live, is you can book a one-on-one appointment with me. I do planner organization, money organization, business organization, and I have 15-minute discovery calls if you have a specific area of your life that you are trying to organize and you don't know if I can definitely help you. I have free 15-minute phone calls or Zoom links where we can jump on. You can tell me a little bit about your situation, and I can tell you if I can help you. The second way you can work with me is joining the Organize You. So the Organize You is my membership program. We have 2 live classes per month. We also do a monthly book club. This month we are talking about Order from Chaos by Jacqueline Paul. is the name of that book. We're going to be talking about that one this upcoming Thursday. And you also get discounts off of all of my products and services if you do decide to join the Organize You. Or the third way you can work with me is ordering from my Etsy shop. I have a bunch of different planners and different custom planners and custom stationery and stickers that can help you on your organization journey. So I hope you would consider working with me in any one of these areas. I would love, love, love to help you out as you are trying to get organized with your money, with your business, with your life. I'm your girl. I love talking about this stuff and I do it all day. So let's jump into it. Now that we have finished all the announcements, we are going to talk about the 7 factors, the 7 things that you need to consider as we are taking on your organization journey. It is not just a simple, as soon as I want to get organized, I should be organized in 6 months. I should be organized in 2 months. I should be organized in a year. The honest truth is, it really depends on your life. It depends on a bunch of different things. And we're going to talk about 7 factors that you need to consider when you're talking about your organization journey. So the first thing you need to consider is how many life categories do you have to organize? If we are talking about one category, let's say you have a very simple life, you're a kid, you don't have any kids, you don't have a spouse, and it's just you, and you don't really have a lot going on. Maybe you're retired, you're not working. Well, then your organization journey may not take you that long because you don't have that many categories to organize. But if you have a lot going on, then this process might take you a little bit longer because you have more to organize, because you have more to do. So I did an entire video on this topic where I talked about my areas of organization. I talked about 12 categories in this particular video, and I have linked to this video. Hi, Tori. I have linked to this video it's in my Start Here playlist on YouTube. So you can definitely check it out there. But this particular video, how to organize your life categories, is where I talk about 12 different categories that you need to consider when we're talking about life organization. My main 6 categories are the ones that you see listed on this screen. My schedule, which includes my time. So I talk about time blocking a lot. I use my time blocking system. I have used a time blocking system for years. And so that is my number one area that I always organize, because if you know how to organize your time, then you know how to organize everything else. I always talk about how your time and your mind kind of coincide when we're starting this journey. The second area that I organize consistently, that I consider a main area, is health and wellness. Thinking about your overall body, how you feel, your workouts, your if you get sick, if you get headaches, if you have migraines. Health and wellness is a really big part to being organized altogether, because if my energy is low, if I'm tired all the time, if I feel overwhelmed, then it's going to be very, very difficult for me to organize anything else. So my health and wellness is one of my main categories. Other main categories is family, home, work, and money. So these are 6 categories that I use to organize. These are my main 6. So since I have 6, I would say on average, I think I've talked about this before, that it took me on average about 3 years to get really solid with my system, where I stopped jumping from system to system, where I stopped trying every little thing that kind of came out. I really kind of got into my own groove of what I knew, what would work for me once, and knew all of these areas. But in about 3 years, it took me 3 years to really get solid. So if you have 6 categories like me, I'm not saying that it's going to take you 3 years. I'm saying that it may take you longer. It may take you shorter, depending on the other factors. But I'm saying that you need to know how many categories you have or how many things are important to you that you are trying to organize. So these are the 6 areas that I organize on a consistent basis. And so this is the very first thing that you need to consider. The second thing that you need to consider is how you define organization. How do you define it? Let me move myself so that y'all can see the screen. But the feeling of being organized is subjective, right? Some of my clients want to have their planner line by line and they want to follow it and they want time blocking. They want a perfectly set budget and they want to follow their budget. They want to color code. They want to label everything. They have defined feeling organized as having everything in a row. All their ducks are in a row. I have other clients who are like, you know what? If not everything is organized, if I just have this one thing together, if I could just see my kitchen surface, if I can just make sure my kids are together, if I can just make sure my work is organized, if I look at my planner 1 or 2 times a week, then I will feel like I have it together. So it really depends on how you define organization. Do you define it as I want everything to be 100% together? Or do you define it as if I have 1 area or 2 areas together, then I feel like I'm on top of the world? So it really depends on how you see it. It depends on how you define that goal of organization. Everyone is different. Everyone has different things that they may want to do or things that they may want to see or the way that they define being organized. I know for me, those 6 areas, like I have 12 areas altogether that I talk about in that particular video. But once I had those 6 together, then I was good for the most part on all of the other areas. Now, there are 12 that I really, really want to be all the way organized on. However, if I had those top 6 together, then I felt like I was kind of on my way. So how you define organization and how you define what your life looks like as being organized is definitely going to play a factor in how you feel about this entire process and your organization journey. If you feel super organized, may depend on how you defined it. The third thing that you need to consider, the third factor is how well you know yourself or what works for you. So this is a big one, especially in the planner community, because y'all, we have so many different things to choose from. There's so many different platforms. There's so many different planners. There's Discbound, there's Spiral, there are Rings. There are so many different things that are out there that this can be very challenging to define. It is super hard to know what's going to work for you when you love planners because everything looks like it might work for you, right? And so I remember when I first started, the very first planner that I had was it was an Erin Condren. So I started off in a Discbound system, not Discbound, with spirals. I started with spirals, and then I tried a bounded system. I tried a little bit of everything, and I used to jump from thing to thing until I found Happy Planner. Now, I knew I was always a paper planner type of girl, but I would jump from planner to planner in the midst of it all until I got to Happy Planner. Happy Planner was the first planner that I used that was Discbound that I was like, I really, really, really love this. And I really knew my brain needed to be able to customize. It needed to be able to customize. So knowing, does your brain work well on paper, digital, or both? My system is kind of a dual system. I use paper a lot, but I also have some digital things that I will add in, like Google Calendar, like Evernote, like Trello. I've talked about some of these things in the past, but I had to know when I needed to be paper and when I needed it to be digital. And when I need to switch my system, I need to know what works when I get busy or on the go, what works when it comes to your money system, what do I need to see when, do I need it in Excel or do I need this on paper? And it varies at different times. And Maria, you are brought up a really, really good question, because she's saying, for me, it's not about getting organized, it's about staying organized. Anyone else have this problem? The main thing with this problem is usually not knowing when you need to switch. So that kind of falls back into what we're talking about here. And let me tell you why. I would set up my entire system, and then I would feel like, oh my goodness, my system is perfect, my system is great. For instance, before I had my girls, before my children were born, I was an Erin Condren girl. I was strictly Erin Condren. I had been planning an Erin Condren for probably like 3 or 4 years. And then my baby was born. And when I had my oldest child, my Erin Condren just didn't work. Like, I couldn't make it work. I would try and plan it and set up the planner and then not use it. I just tried to do a whole bunch of different things. And I was like, man, I was so organized, and now I'm not organized anymore, and I don't understand why. Well, what happened is I had this really big life change. I had this big change where I had a baby, and now the static of my system, the way that my system was set up before, where I could just kind of plan out my week, it didn't work anymore, because now I needed something that was way more customizable. And that's why Happy Planner worked out better. Having the disc where I could take out sheets and add in sheets. And then there were certain weeks where I would just add in a sheet of paper and then just write down her feedings and all of the different things for her, because I wasn't planning anything else when it came down to me. So a lot of times, knowing yourself also knows that if you can't stay organized, then that might be an indication that something is wrong with the system. It's never you. It's never you. If something is wrong, it's wrong with the system. It is not the fact that you were using the planner before and now it's not working anymore. Even if nothing's changed, maybe something in your brain has changed and you need to figure it out. But it's always the system, and we always need to adjust the system. So if you're getting organized, but you can't stay organized, then figure out that point where you say, you know what, I'm no longer organized. What happened? Was there a big change? Did something switch in your brain? Is it something that you're setting up that's just not working for you? It's always the system. It's always the system. So you just have to figure out what is it that is triggered you to make you switch and not want to use the particular system that you have right now. And I realized that many a times this was me looking at other stuff or other systems that was not working for me. So for instance, I would look at all of these YouTube videos and all of the planners were so pretty and they were just so well put together. And I loved the style of that particular person that I was watching, but the planner didn't work for me. And so this is why knowing who you are, knowing how you work, knowing that you could look and see, oh my God, this planner or this Erin Condren is so pretty, but I still know that it's not going to work for me. I love looking at passion planner videos and Hobonichi cousin videos. I just love them so much. But I still know that I have to have a disc-bound system. So I can watch these videos and appreciate them, but you have to know who you are when it comes down to your system. Just because it's beautiful and you appreciate it doesn't mean it's also going to work for you. So that's your third thing that you have to consider. And this one, it's a hard one. This one is a hard one. I am not saying that this one is easy, because I literally, it's something will work for me and then it'll switch and then I have to find that system again. This is why I always evaluate my system at the end of every single month. I will always make tweaks, always make changes, because we're constantly changing as people and your mind is constantly growing. So sometimes you just got to figure out what's going to work best for you. The next thing that you need to consider is any mental health challenges that might be involved with your organization journey. Mental health is a very big part of this process. It's a very, very big part of this process. So if you have a hoarding disorder, if you have OCD, if you have ADHD, this can make it really difficult to stay organized. So I told you all that I'm currently reading Order from Chaos by Jacqueline Paul. Order from Chaos by Jacqueline Paul. And she and her husband have ADHD. And she goes into the book and she's really describing how challenging it was for her to get organized because of just the mental struggles of even getting started. And so this is something that you really, really need to consider. She takes medication now, and she was like, once she got on the medication along with her system, everything started to work out. It just started to work for her. But before then, she would try planners, she would try systems, she would try cleaning up, and it just wasn't working because she was struggling with her mental health, and her brain just would not let her do all of the things that she was trying to do. So this is something that you really need to consider. I have seen people put in my comments, I'm so exhausted, I can't even get started. I have ADHD, I can't even get started. And I always try and push them to go and see your doctor. If you wake up tired and go to sleep tired, you need to go to the doctor because that's not normal. We have to find some type of balance to figure out, is it vitamin D deficiency? Is it something, it may be something else going on, because your energy and your mental health are going to play a really big part in this entire process. It's going to play a really big factor in anything. So we're not going to be able to organize our money, our business, our life, our home, anything if our mental health is not right, if our energy is off, if we feel sick, if we feel tired. None of this is going to matter. Your journey is not going to be able to last. So that's something that you deeply need to consider. And remember, this is not your fault. Like none of this is your fault. And whenever I see someone that's constantly blaming themselves because they're not organized, I always say, it's not you. You just haven't found your system yet. We have to kind of experiment and figure this out. This is why it's a journey. It's not a destination. None of us will ever arrive. We're always constantly figuring it out. And we're all on the same journey where it's going to work for a while, and then something's going to happen and it's not going to work. And then we got to figure it out again. We literally have to make sure that we are tapping in to all of the different aspects of ourselves that could be causing us to feel a certain way. And one of the biggest things on your organization journey is your mental health. If you don't feel all the way right, it's definitely going to hurt your system or how you're able to approach this topic. All right. The next thing that you need to consider are your time constraints. Here's the thing. I have talked about this like so much. My time constraints will change my entire system. I just posted a video. I think I posted it Sunday. And I said when I posted the video on Sunday, that I had to switch my system and put everything in one planner. And I had to switch to where I was using 5 planners, I believe, at the time. And now I'm using 3, and 2 of the planners, like it's my faith planner, my budget planner, and my catch-all or my hourly planner. I got rid of my business planner. I don't really have a reading planner anymore. It's just mainly like notes and stuff. And I'm using like a lot of inserts. And the reason why is because of my time. My time I got super busy and I just didn't have the time to do all of the planning that I wanted to do. And so your personal time constraints, if you're busy working, if you have to take care of family, you don't have a lot of time. You have kids, you don't have a lot of time to get organized. And so if you set up 7 planners and you have time constraints, you don't have time to plan in all those planners, then you start to beat yourself up about not being able to plan in all the planners and set aside time to use all of the planners. But it's not your fault. It's time constraints. It's time constraints. You don't have time in order to do all of these different things that you are trying to do. So what I like to do is I will usually like set up my one planner, the one system that I have, the one that I want to use, and then I'm just using that one book for the entire month. Now, every now and then I will add in different when my time kind of gets a little bit better. I might add back my planners. I might add back different things. I might be able to start using a reading planner again or start using other types of things again. But for now, if my time gets limited, then I'm going to bring it down to one planner. I'm just going to use that one. And so you have to consider, what type of time do you have? How much time do you have? Are you able to use all of these different planners, because they're really, really pretty, but we have to divide up the difference between I'm using my planner as a crafting, as something that I just love to do. It's a hobby, and I'm using my planner for productivity. It's two different things, right? It's two different things. So sometimes I love my reading planner, my commonplace planner, my business planner, and it's all just because I love the hobby of it all, because I really do love planning as a hobby. Other times, it is just a productivity tool so that I can get things done. And when it's just my productivity tool, when I am just trying to get things done, then I can't make it to where if I don't have time, to where I'm trying to force myself into the hobby of planning instead of the productivity of planning. Right? So this is something that you definitely have to consider. Otherwise, you will continue to blame yourself for not using all of your planners, even though you don't have time to use all of your planners. It's seasons. It is seasons. So every now and then, since it's seasons, you just have to consider, okay, I don't have time for it now, but I'm definitely going to come back to it. Great question, Nicole. She's saying, without a reading planner, how do you take notes about a book you are reading? I still use note pages. Let me show you. I still use my note pages. So here is my planner here, and I have my planner section in the back. Let me make myself bigger. I have my planner section in the back. So this is my reading planner, right? It's not a planner. I just have the reading tracker. And then behind my reading tracker, I have like my book sheets, which I need to fill out this page of all of the books that I want to read. And then after that, I just have different notes of different books and different things that I have read. But as you can see, it's just like pages. They're just line pages. So if I am writing notes about a particular book, it's not like, usually I would use a horizontal planner where I am jotting down in my horizontal planner different notes from the books every single day that I am reading a particular book. So I read the book every single day, and when I read that book, I am jotting down the notes in my horizontal planner on that day, on that tab, just kind of writing down. But when I'm super busy and I take out my reading planner, usually that means that I am listening more to Audible books than I am reading them or reading physical books, or I am just going to, if I am reading books, it's going to be like I'm highlighting in them and I'm jotting down different notes. So the way that I take notes is going to be a little bit different, because at first I may not be able to read every single day. If I am in a tight season, I might spend an entire Saturday reading or like maybe 2 hours on a Saturday instead of a little bit every single day, especially if I'm really busy with work. So I might change up the style, and then I will change up the way that I use the planner. I remove the planner. That way I don't see a whole bunch of blank days and get down. I just put in note pages, and then I'm just jotting down the different things that I have picked up from a book. So instead of me trying to make it to where I'm trying to force myself to add something into this planner every single day, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is just make it to where it's all note pages. That way I can write it down when I want to, and then I don't have to write it down when I don't have to. Can I show the planner again? I can. Wait, let me pull it up. So y'all know I have a bunch of different sections in my planner, and the main thing, wait, let me take this page off. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. So I have a bunch of different tabs in here, but the first tab is my actual planner, and then I have a bunch of different inserts because the inserts are not dated, right? So when I am like, since it's like, since I can like add in different things as I want to add them in, nothing's dated. I am just going to write in here when I have time to write in here throughout the week. And the only sections that are planners are my life planner, my budget planner, and my faith planner. And even those, I am using them as I go. The only one I set up is my life planner, which is my hourly planner. Every other planner in here is kind of like a plan as you go. So I'm writing in it as I go instead of me trying to set it up, because once again, time constraints. I don't have the time. So like I said, this is the reading tracker, which is the first tracker in here. The next page is the book tracker. And then after that, that's where we get into the note pages. So when I say note pages, let me see if I can get, do I have blank pages in here? I have one. So this is like what it looks like. It's like literally journal pages. So when I am writing in it, and I just add some stickers, and then I'm just going to jot down different things that I'm reading. But as you can see, it is not dated. Nothing is dated. And the reason why I do that is so that I don't feel overwhelmed, like I need to go to every single section of my planner all the time. And I do that with several sections within my planner whenever I have time constraints. And sometimes I have time constraints, and so I just give myself permission not to plan. If I don't have time, I'm just not going to do it. And I'm looking at it as, okay, I'm in a season that this is a productivity tool and not my hobby. And then other times it can be my hobby. And so I like to look at the difference between the two. And then that way it makes it to where in my brain, I'm not beating myself up for using 7 planners all at the same time. Because sometimes you don't have it. All right. You prefer 8x10 to be able to have space for all the details? Yes, I do. I always have this size. Sometimes I will carry a classic size, the 7x9.25. But for the most part, I carry this one. I love the bigger planner. I just need the space. I have tried. I think I like the idea of the smaller planner, but once again, that goes back to my last point of knowing who you are. I love big planners. Like they just, I need the space. I need to be able to lay everything out. I like my planner I love being able to print sheets of paper and put it in my planner, because I also have like my family section. I was just working on the girls. Like my girls are getting ready to go back to school next month. And so I just created this sheet in my family section, because I'm like, okay, I need to plan for them to go back to school. And then I also have their school supply list, which I just printed from the site and was able to insert in my planner. And that's something that you just can't do with you can, but you have to like size it down and print it out and then cut it out. And I don't want to do all of that because once again, time constraints. So for me, I'm just able to print out their supply list, add it into my planner, and then I have it right behind the things that I need to do for their school, and it's within the family section of my planner. Once again, not dated, but I'm just adding in, okay, these are all the things that you need to do to get them prepared for the school year, which is coming up in about a month for us, because they start school on the 7th of August. So I'm trying to like just help them get started. So if you are getting started, check out my playlist. I have a playlist that's called Start Here. Take it slow, Tammy. Where I am, you're listening to someone who has been planning for like 10 years now, 10, 15 years, probably even longer than that. I have been planning for a very, very long time. So you want to start slow. Start with one book, start with one section, start with one thing, and add on as you go. But I do have a playlist called Start Here, where I think that one will really, really help you. All right. Do you put all the details on your main calendar? Yes. So all of the other sections are inserts. The only other two planners that I have are my faith planner and my budget planner. My budget planner does have all of the money stuff in it. My faith planner just really has scriptures, but those two planners are really planning as I go. My life planner has everything, all of my business stuff. Sometimes I'll put money stuff on there too, and all of where I need to be, events, anything, that's where it's going to go. So yes, my life planner or my main planner is the hub of everything. That's really the only big, like the only planner I really have, because everything else is like either associated with faith or budget, and everything else is inserts. Like my business section, it's all inserts. My family section, it's all inserts, and none of that is dated, and none of it has a monthly calendar. So I think I did a flip through not too long ago. So you might want to look at if you look at the video that I posted Sunday, which is how my weekly planning routine, that should give you insight to how I do it. To get a hold of you is the side. Yes, my side and top tabs are all restocked. So everything is back in the shop. If you are looking for the clear, it's the clear top tabs, the side tabs. I use the top tabs as bottom tabs too, but they're all back in the shop. So if you're interested in them, they are in my Etsy shop along with the covers. Everything that you see here is now in my Etsy shop. Does my planner leave the house? Yes. Yes, I take it everywhere with me. And I know at one point I was trying my best not to, because I was like, oh my God, it's so big. I scratched it because there were too many times where I was like, I want my planner. I wish I had my planner. I put that in my planner. You know, I did it. Yeah, I have to have my planner on me at all times. What are my thoughts on digital planners? I love them. I wish I could get it to work for me, because I see all of these beautiful videos on Instagram about how people use them, about Notion and all of these different great. My brain doesn't work that way. It will not work. For some reason, it has to be in combination. And I've never really used Notion, but I do have Evernote for like long-term notes. And I use Google Calendar to remind me of appointments with clients and Zoom links and stuff like that. But it's always in addition to my planner, because my planner is the hub. I love my paper planner, and I've tried digital. It's never worked. It's never worked. Something about my brain just won't click. It won't register for some reason. But I do love them. And if you found a way to make it work for you, 100% go for it. Go for it. Like I love it, and I feel like it would definitely probably be much, much lighter, and just like you carry around a simple little phone or an iPad and you probably keep it all together. But I need my planner. So it doesn't work for me, but I do love them, and I feel like if you're able to use it, definitely do it. All right, let's get into number 6 and 7. Number 6, distractions. We're talking about like what would hurt your organization journey or how long it would take. It's distractions. And the thing is, it just depends on how distracted you are for a particular season. So distractions can include family members, children, pets, visitors, you're taking care of someone, text messages. All of this can like throw you off track when you are trying to get organized. This is why whenever I'm talking to a woman who like just had a baby, or just like she's about to get married, or about to do something really big, she's in transition, I'm like, okay, let's hold off until after, let's wait until the baby is a little bit older, maybe like 6 months old, before we start this process. Because The thing is that your distractions are going to be so high with a newborn. Your distractions are going to be so high if you just started a new job. And so now you're trying to set up this big organization system and create your budget and create your home and organize everything and pull out, declutter your closet and do all of these things. And you just had a baby. Like this, it's not, your distractions are too high. Or you're taking care of someone who's sick. The distractions are too high. And when they are that high, it's very, very, very challenging to organize your life. So you have to think about, same thing with time constraints. These kind of go side by side, but think about, okay, what type of time do I have to dedicate to this process? And what constraints do I currently have? If you have different people in your life that really, really, really need you, then you may have to consider, okay, maybe I need to do this a little bit later when my life kind of calms down. Because this is the thing, seasons change. It won't be like this forever. Your baby won't be small forever. Enjoy that time, get those snuggles in. And then as time changes and as seasons change, your distractions will change. And then we can come back to the process, because organization will always be here. You will always be trying to revamp and redo your system. So I wouldn't worry too much about it, especially when you're in the middle of a transition. So think about your distractions. And the last thing you need to think about is your why. Why do you want to do this? Why do you want to get organized? Everyone has a different reason that motivates them to do this and stick to it. And the reason I want you to really dive into it is because this is the thing that's going to keep you going. Because like I said, you never arrive. You never just be like, oh, I'm organized and now I never have to worry about it again. You will constantly and always be on this journey. It's a life journey. So everyone has a different reason for doing it, and you need to know yours. Maybe it's inviting people over for dinner and you want your house to be together. Maybe it's being able to pay for different things and know where all your money is going. Maybe you want to make sure you have enough money for the kids to go to college. Maybe you want to be a great role model for your kids and teach them how to live an organized life. Maybe you just want to reduce your stress. What is your why? My why was really centered around my peace. It was so centered around my peace. I was so frustrated with waking up and not knowing where my keys were, not knowing, like feeling frustrated, feeling like my money was all over the place. I was frustrated with just the little nuances that would happen throughout my day where I would lose something, forget something, miss out on something, something cost me more, late fees, all of those little nuances, like the things that just kind of aggravate you. That was my why. I wanted to not have those things happen. I wanted my children to go back to school and feel like I had their stuff together. I had their stuff more like organized and together, right? So this is like the main thing that you have to consider. You have to consider what is your why? What is the big reason why you want to do all of this? And so I want you to think about that and think about all 7 of these reasons. This video is recorded. It is still going to be on my channel. So if you missed it, you want to go back, you definitely can look at all of them. Remember, I talked about the video, how to organize your life categories, 5 ways to manage your energy. I believe that one will help you when we're talking about your overall mental health. Those 2 videos are the main ones that I recommend. And I also recommend that you look at that playlist about how to start. Start here when we're talking about life organization. And of course, I would love for you to join me over on Organize You. So this is a great question. Organize You it's everything, to be honest. It is both. So I do dive into organizing your life and money. I feel like we kind of do a mixture between the two. It's not like I pick one or the other, because I genuinely believe If your life is organized, then your money is organized. That's why the organized money is the organized money, because I believe if you do these things with your life, and we're talking about your home and your space, and we're talking about your family being organized, and we're talking about like how you feel with your health and your wellness, then all of it connects to your money. That is just my belief. I believe that if we like, it all kind of aligns together, because I remember trying to organize my money first and then feeling all over the place, and not and my money like I was trying to do my money, and because my life was all over the place, my money never got organized. It just, I still was missing out on stuff. I still had to pay for an event. I forgot about it. I still, like, the kids had a field trip, and I was like, oh my goodness, I got to give you money for this. And it was still messing up my budget because my time wasn't together, because I wasn't thinking things through. So now it is a holistic view of your life and money. And so I really dive into those two. We kind of tiptoe into business, but not really much as business. I do have a separate program called the Organized Business that I will really dive into that. But the Organized You is really about life and money. It is really about life and money. So it's both of them together, so that you can, like, we kind of have classes jumping back and forth because they all work together. When you know how to do them both, that's when you're able to really, really zone in on your system. All right. For my budget, do I track spending weekly? Yes. So I recently started doing something new, and this is mainly because of time constraints, to be honest. So if you remember in the past, I used to track all of my expenses one by one. So I would pull up my bank transactions, and then I would write every single transaction into my expense tracker. I recently stopped doing it, mainly because of time constraints. I just had a lot going on, and I was like, okay, I don't have time to write all of these out. What can I do instead? So now I basically add all of the days of the month to my tracker, and I add up how much money I've spent for the day. So instead of me saying, okay, how much did I spend on food? I spent $10 on this and $20 on that and $30 at, Amazon and this, and that. And little by little, what I started to do instead is saying, how much money did I spend on the 1st? And on July 1st, I spent $25 total. How much money did I spend on the 2nd? I spent a total of $35. And what I started to do is say, okay, what's my monthly or what's my daily budget? So I looked at all of my spending for the entire month, how much I'm supposed to spend for the month. Let's say if I'm supposed to spend, I want to spend $100. Then I might say, okay, over the next 5 days, I want to spend $20 a day or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, I broke it down by day, and then I just tracked how much I was spending each day instead of writing every single transaction. And to be honest, it just saved me a lot of time, and it still helped me to stay on top of my budget to make sure that I wasn't overspending. So this is just another way that I will do it to make sure that I'm still staying on top of it. But yes, I am still tracking I'm looking at it daily, but I'm looking at the total. I am looking at the total, how much money I've spent in total, not how much I've spent per transaction. So hopefully that helps. Oh, thank you so much. Can't wait to see you on Thursday. If you're a part of Organize You, Thursday, we're doing a book club. And I talked about the book that we're reading, but here it is, Order from Chaos by Jacqueline Paul. This is the book review we are talking about on this upcoming Thursday. Like I said, she has ADHD, her husband had ADHD, and she dives into a bunch of different concepts about how she really basically kind of got on track and learned about her diagnosis and how it helped her. So I really enjoyed it. I think that the concepts will help you even if you don't have ADHD. I really do believe. But we're talking about that one with Organize You this upcoming Thursday. So I will see you all then. I'm going to send out an email and also the Zoom link tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. I have a video on this. If you are trying to get your life back on track, trying to get organized after you're sick, I do have a video on this that will, I believe, will help you. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Let me see if I can pull it up and try and send you the link. If y'all have any other questions, drop them in the chat box. I can answer them while we are on. But I do have a video on like bouncing back after you're sick. I want to say it's here. I'm gonna have to see if I can find it, or it might be like after, because I want to say I did it after I had been sick for a couple of weeks. I got and then I had to kind of pull myself back together. Let's see, getting organized. Oh, that's a good one. I definitely can do a video on my Google Calendar. And you know what? I don't know why I've never done one before. I think maybe because I felt like y'all might be like, oh, this is so simple. But I really do. I like to look at my Google Calendar every Sunday, and I will usually kind of use it as I am on the go. And then I will add all of those different things into it every single week. But let me see. So here's a video that I did on like feeling overwhelmed, but I know I did one on being sick too, like we're bouncing back after I was sick. I think I might have to just find it. When I find it, I will put it in the description box or as the first comment on this live. But I just put one in about feeling overwhelmed. So you could definitely check that one out too. Start organizing life as a teenager. So I do have a video for you on, especially if you're still in school, on like how to get organized as you're going back to school and that process of like how to color code, how to use different things. Mainly because when you're a teenager and you're just starting out, you may not want to buy all the things. So that video dives into a simple way, like a simple way of how to get started with organization and using a planner consistently while you're in school and how to set up your planner. So I do have a video on that as well. I need to write this down because I'm not going to remember all of the videos that I'm telling y'all that I'm going to do. So where's my planner? Oh, here it is. So let me put it in my planner, make sure I remember. So we said I'm going to add in the ones, if you get sick, bouncing back after sick and school. I'll put it as the first comment on this video so that y'all can watch those. Okay? Thank you so much. Thank y'all so much for joining me. I will definitely keep this live up so you can come back and watch it. But make sure you consider all 7 of those factors that we talked about today if you are trying to start your organization journey. I am going to add this video into that playlist that I was talking about as well, about getting started with your process. I'm definitely going to add that so that you can like kind of know, because I feel like people start getting organized and they're like, I should be organized by now. This is a process. It can take years. It can definitely take years. So don't, oh, I need to write that down. Google Calendar too. Glad you said that, because y'all, if I didn't have my planner, I promise you, I wouldn't remember like literally anything. I will forget everything. Okay. I was behind before and I'm getting further behind. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. And this is another thing that I was saying. When something major happens, I'm so sorry for your loss. And when something major like this happens, you have to give yourself a lot of grace and a lot of time. A lot of grace and a lot of time, because that's big. And it's not something that you should just say, okay, I should just get back on track. And so I do have some videos out there that I believe will kind of help you on this process, but grace is going to be a big part of this process. And I am so sorry for your loss. I'm definitely going to post or put up that video too on like how to get back kind of started. and how to take it slow. Because this is the thing, you don't want to rush too soon, too fast into any of this. You definitely want to take it slow because you're trying to bounce back and you're still grieving and you're still trying to figure it out. And this is a new life, a new normal, and we're just trying to figure it all out together. So I'm praying for you. I am so sorry for your loss. I'm definitely going to put that video in there as well. And I hope, and pray that it helps you as you're going through your journey. All right. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. I will link all of those videos that I talked about as the first comment of this video. And I will see you all in my next one. All right. Thank you all. Bye, guys.